What up, Viking fans? This your boy D Woods with the Skol State of Mind podcast. As promised, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on Brian Flores. Now, let's talk about it. Look, I don't think Brian Flores is going anywhere. I think he's going to stay in Minnesota for maybe 2, 3 seasons. Now, I understand this defense is playing good. He pretty much brought this defense from a bottom defense in the NFL to basically a top 10 defense. However, you want to look at it. That's great. But I think about it like this. Brian Flores is really smart and he's well calculated. And considering he already has, a defamation lawsuit with the NFL and the Miami Dolphins, his last employer when he was his head coach, I think in order for him to leave the Minnesota Vikings, he's probably going to go to a team where he can have control of the roster, where basically it's going to be a better fit for him, his family, and the longevity of his career. Now, just because a coordinator has a great defense and is playing good, some coordinators don't make good head coaches in the NFL. We see it happen over and over again. So I'm not saying Flores is that, and he doesn't have the capabilities of being a head coach. But I think as Viking fans, we got to pump our brakes a little bit. Now, let's think about the destinations that he could go to. Currently, right now, there are 3 vacancies with interim coaches, right? You got the Las Vegas Raiders, you got the Los Angeles Chargers, and you got the Carolina Panthers. First off top, he's not going to Carolina. He's not going to go to a franchise where you got a meddling owner and you really don't have a vision within that franchise, even though they already have, their guy, in their quarterback in Bryce Young. But Jerry's still out on him. So Brian Flores going to Carolina Panthers is probably a straight up no. Now, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders, they got an interim coach right now, but I think that's a no too, because do you honestly think that the Raiders would hire another Bill Belichick disciple back to back after they just fire run in the season? Probably not. So Las Vegas is a no. All right. The Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I would think Los Angeles would be a good fit, but there's rumblings that they might be interested in Harbaugh or they might be interested in Belichick. And I don't really think Flores kind of fits, the Chargers organization, in my opinion. So I don't think he's going there. Now, since we're talking about Belichick, right, I think about it like this, right? There's a lot of people saying that, oh, yeah, he can go to New England if something happens to Belichick. Me personally, I why would you want to go to a team where arguably one of the best coaches in history has just left? Like, you don't want to be the person to come right after that. I mean, if they hire somebody else and then Brian Flores goes after that person, falls out or gets fired or whatever, but I'm not coming after Brian Flores. Like, I mean, I'm not coming after Belichick. It's just something I'm not doing. So you got other positions that could potentially be, open, like, let's talk about the Commanders, right? The Commanders. The Commanders is a tricky situation because they basically got a guy in Bieniemy that's in the waiting to be the head coach. Like, I kind of felt like he went there to kind of already put his system in, so whatever happened with Rivera, he can just take over. But I don't think he's gonna get the job either. And the thing about Washington is just like they got a quarterback. Is he the guy in the future? Like, we really don't know. I don't see him going to Washington. All right. Let's just look at some other teams. The Chicago Bears. That's kind of tough. I wouldn't want him to be in the division, straight up. Like, I wouldn't want him to be in division, but we still don't know what the Chicago Bears are going to do with Eberflus or what they're going to do with Justin Fields. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't sit here and be like, oh, yeah, Flores is gone for sure. He's gone for sure. Like, the guy is going to pick the job that's going to be beneficial to his career and his family. He's not just going to pick any head coaching job just because someone offers him an interview or they offer him the job. He's going to be really selective on where he goes. And I'm saying his best bet as of right now is to stay in Minnesota, continue to experiment with this new defense so he can get the tweaks out, and then decide if he wants to go somewhere else in the next coming seasons. But I do think Brian Flores will be here for the next 2 seasons. I mean, and if you think about the defense situation, like he's running a new scheme, right? Why would you want to like start a new scheme, then leave and try to take that scheme with you? You will kind of want to stay where you at and build on that scheme. It just makes more sense. So that's just what I got to say about Flores. Like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. Skol, baby.